Detroit Den 313. We are back. Stephen Will talking that Detroit Lions football. But before we get started, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Don't forget the bell icon so you don't miss any of our new content. Steve, talk to these people about what we're talking.
William, I'm surprised the streets aren't on fire today. I'm surprised that Detroit has not burned to the ground. So many people I see on Twitter are just not happy with the off-season moves we made so far, including, I will not mention by name, but I do see some content creators out there who are bashing Brad Holmes, who are saying that we're failing at the offseason and we're just shopping at the dollar menu. We're just not making any moves. We're not getting better. Every team in the NFC, the division's beating us. Like we're still the NFC North champs, right? Until we get knocked off.
Hey, man, here's the bottom line. People did this last season, and then when it came time to go to the Super Bowl, they were mega fans.
I mean,
this is what they do. So I'm not fair
did we
weather
make
fan.
any huge signings last year? CJ Gardner-Johnson, who we won without, like who was the big signing last year? Cam Sutton, David Montgomery. Like we didn't make any huge monster moves last year either. Look where we got.
These
Relax,
are the same
everyone.
people that wanted to trade for Chase
Well,
Young.
I was in that boat, but I can admit when I'm wrong.
Okay, but listen, here's the difference to me. You wanted to trade for him, but it wasn't off with Brad's head when we didn't get him.
Right.
It was like, man, he went for what? I can't remember what he went
Third
for.
round pick, I think.
I was about to say, I think it was a third round pick, but we couldn't have did that. We got 2 third-round picks. Like, why didn't we? We can get on here and talk about it, but it's the fact of mocking Brad Holmes and talking crap about him or whatever. The dude took the 0-16 Lions to the NFC Championship. Like, what are we talking? Where's the respect? What are we talking about? To me, it's
William,
just not.
were
Not even
we ahead in that game too?
Yeah, man, we were half away.
24-7. Like we're 1 quarter away from going to the big dance.
Bottom line, man. So guys like that or people like that, I'm not even gonna spend too much time addressing it. Whatever, just do your thing. Whatever.
But we're setting the table because free agency is not over. It's only just begun. Like we're just getting started. We're day 2.5 inside of free agency. There's still plenty of options. So we're going to talk about, you guys want a big move? What's a bigger move than when the Los Angeles Chargers have to cut either Joey Bosa or Khalil Mack, because the Los Angeles Chargers are in a cap situation nightmare that they are looking for someone to throw them a lifeboat to save them, because the inevitable is coming on June 1st. They're going to have to cut someone.
If I'm the Chargers, I'm looking for somebody to trade with. But the NFL, like this podcast, isn't built with idiots. So
well, maybe.
so listen, that being it's not. So when you understand that, that these guys are they're looking at this cap situation and they're saying, hey, we're not trading with you guys. Figure it out. Who you cutting, or play a season with minimal assets, play a season trying to pay these guys when you can't do it. So I think the NFL is sitting back waiting to see which one they cut, or if they decide not to cut them, but they have to struggle through pay. Hey, they gotta sign their rookies too. You know what I mean? So it's a battle of playing chess right now with the NFL and the Chargers. Poor Harbaugh, man. He's out there with this cap situation trying to figure it out. Poor guy. I feel bad for him. I'm cheering for that guy. Go Blue. Thank you for the natty. But if you really love Michigan, why don't you give Brad Holmes a call and say, hey, man, you just got a 6th-round pick. I throw one of these guys out there for a 6th-round pick. I'm gonna cut him anyways. So I mean, what are we talking about? I've seen crazier things happen. And before you guys get on here and say, "Oh, he's worth way more. These guys are worth way more than a 6th-round pick. They would never blah blah blah." Understand that. But when it comes down to a situation to where you're just trying to deal a guy, was Joe Mixon worth more? Right. So that's what it boils down to. If it's a guy that I was going to cut anyways, and I can get some type of draft value for him, then I'm going to do that. So with that, Steve, who would you want more? Right, would you want Mac more, or would you want Joey Bosa more?
That's a no-brainer for me. Very little is going to change my mind. It's Khalil Mack.
Okay. Why is that?
Um, Consistency, and he's always healthy. This guy has missed 12 games in 10 years. Sign me up. And on top of that, he produces at a high level. He's one of the NFL's best pass rushers. And what I like about Khalil Mack is, yes, he's always healthy. He's always on the field. He's always playing at a high level and producing. When he's producing, when he gets a sack, when he gets close to that quarterback, he's going for that ball. He's creating turnovers. Khalil Mack can single handedly, we've seen it, a handful of times where he can single handedly win a football game by himself.
Yeah.
That's how dominant he is. Those types of players are few and far between. There's really not that many guys in the NFL on defense who can single handedly win you a football game.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Finished with a 17 sack season last year. No big deal. It's not
No,
a big deal, is it?
just another day in the office, right? Just
Yeah,
you want
no
17
big deal.
sacks? All right, no problem.
So here's what I love about Khalil Mack is if you trade for him, you've now bought yourself a 1-year deal, which was Brad Holmes loves that. Guy's 33 years old, right? You trade for Mack, right? You just give a late rounder, give him something with a pulse maybe. Then you bring him in and you got him for 1 season. 1 season. If you love him, sign him for another 1-year deal because he's going to be at that time 34, 35 years old. Right. Bring the guy in, obviously still in good shape, coming off a great season. Sign him to that, or you have him for that 1-year deal. If you love him, then sign him for another 1-year deal. If things don't work out, then all we did is what you talk about all the time. We kick the can down the road. Maybe we sign an edge rusher next season. But it again clears out the thought process of the draft. You bring Mack in, you got Mack opposite or Davenport, Marcus Davenport opposite Aiden Hutchinson. A lot of problems are solved. Don't say that we brought in DJ Reader as well, which we did an episode on yesterday. So go check that out, or this morning, whatever. We do so many.
Come on.
So, yeah, but um, but we, if we got DJ Reader, we bring in Mack. This draft is wide open.
Might fuck around and draft a quarterback. I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows? Maybe we draft a kicker in the first round. Who knows? Who knows what we do? We do whatever we want to do. So I love the idea. Grab one of these guys. I think Max making, I think I wrote it down. I didn't, but it was like 17 mil, right? So you get that on the books for 1 season, right? I have zero problems with it at all.
I think, man, Khalil Mack on this team is James Houston on 2 years worth of steroids. He's just a huge upgrade. I might even throw James Houston in that trade deal. I might. Why not? To clear a little cap, clear some personnel.
Nobody's taking James Houston.
Well, maybe. I can hope. Don't shoot my hopes down. Don't shoot my hopes down this early in the morning. Don't do that. I'm just saying, Khalil Mack. Yeah, he's a little old. He's been in the league 10 years. That's a long time for the NFL, but he is still producing. He stays healthy. He had 1 season where he had a bad injury. I believe it was his last year in Chicago. Yes, his last year in Chicago only played 7 games. Still had 6 sacks.
Steve,
6 sacks would be second on the Lions. Yes, William.
Games played. 16 games, 16 games, 16 games, 16 games, 14 games, 16 games, 16 games. That last year in Chicago, 7 games. Last 2 seasons with the Chargers, 17.
Yeah,
17.
Like I said, for me, no brainer. I need people who are available. I have questions with Marcus Davenport's availability. He's shown a tendency to miss a handful of games each season. I don't have his games played off the top of my head. Khalil Mack, check that box. He's available. He plays. Does he produce? Yes, check that box. He's one of the, I don't know how many total sacks he has in his career, 101.5 in 10 years. That's average of 10 sacks plus more a year. That's just quick math for you guys, math wizard. I need a guy. Yeah, I know. I'm like Rain Man sometimes. You see me at a blackjack table, man. I'm just counting cards. I need people who are available and produced. Khalil Mack checks both of those boxes for me. It's a no-brainer. If he becomes a free agent, if he's the cap cut for the Chargers, Brad, listen, man, I think you've done a good job this free agency, Khalil Mack takes you into that next stratosphere. You've already fixed the secondary. It's not flashy. It's not pretty. You put a dominant pass rush out there, you're going to make those secondary players look like the Legion of Boom. You're going to make that secondary look like the 85 Bears. We're just shutting people down because the quarterback's not getting the ball out of their hands. Nobody's going to be talking about Carlton Davis being injury prone or Amik being 5'9", part of the Oompa Loompa gang. Like, it's not going to matter because Khalil Mack is going to go out and wreck games. And if he doesn't, Aiden Hutchinson will. If Hutchinson doesn't, maybe Braden Fisk will. We have so many options. We want to talk about throwing Braden Fisk on this defense with Khalil Mack? Buddy, good night. Number one defense in the league. I'm fairly confident that we make that jump into top 10 defensive category. That's the kind of guy Khalil Mack is.
Steve,
William,
if we go out and get a DJ Reader, if we go out and get a Khalil Mack, we've already got a Carlton Davis, right? We already got Roy Robertson. What do you think that the table opens for a guy like Edrin Cooper then
oh man,
in the draft?
table's wide open. Where do you want to sit? Maybe Brad says, fuck it, we're going all in. I'm trading up and I'm going to go get Kenyon Mitchell too. Let's go all in. And that's kind of more of a risky move, but I get your question and the options are there. The options are endless. What do you want to go receiver? Prime, no problem. I got a loaded defense. Let's fix my offense, give them a little help. You want to go offensive guard, keep the train moving with the team and the strength of this team the last 3 or 4 years, offensive line. Well, that's a route we can go to. We would have unlimited options. You and me would just be sitting at the draft at the table with the Lions coming up, just sipping a cold one, just waiting to see what's going to happen with no worries in our heads.
I don't have a lot of worries now. I'm gonna be
Me
honest.
neither.
So I don't know. Maybe that's a hot take, guys. How do you feel? Put it in the comments. Are you worried about this draft? Or you feel like we're in desperate need of something? I feel like that we can get a guard. We can still get a free agent guard if we needed to, or we can get one at 61. I don't even think we have to pull the trigger at pick 29. So I'm not in desperate need of anything. Right.
I cannot stop thinking now about a defense with DJ Reader, Aleem McNeil, maybe Broderick Martin. We talked about him in this morning's episode. If you guys want to check that out, Aiden Hutchinson, Braden Fisk, Khalil Mack. Like, man, that's a front seven right there. That's just loaded. You want Jack Campbell, Alex Anzalone, one of the highest tackling linebackers in the NFL the last couple of years. Like, our front seven would be. I can't think of a team off the top of my head that matches with us.
It would be who would need to be called the problem, not that other guy. No shade.
Who, Alex Anzalone?
No, the defense.
Oh yeah,
the defense needs to be called a problem.
It would
we
be
do that. So,
how do you come into Detroit on a Saturday night? So you're sleeping in your hotel room, and you're trying to go over your tablet on who to cover, and you got those handful of guys on the other side of the ball. Like, good luck, thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, you don't sleep well.
I'm not going to sleep well because I'm almost going to feel bad for whoever's coming to town.
Agreed.
Not really, but you come to Detroit, don't want to see you.
Yeah.
Just real quick, I mean, would Joey Bosa be like a second place participation? Like a drop off? How do you feel about Joey Bosa if he's the one who gets cut from the Chargers?
Man, bottom line is this: whether it's cuts, whether it's trades, however we do it, if we get either one of them, I'm going to be excited. I love Joey Bosa. I think that he's an absolute stud. He's just got to stay on the field. He's only out of all of his seasons in the NFL, he's only played full seasons 3 seasons. So,
yeah, and the seasons he's missed, it's not been like he's been close to playing a full season.
First season in the league, 12 games. Third season in the league, 7 games. Then fourth year, full 16-week season. Then after that, 2020 was 12 games, 2021, 16. And then we get into the last 2 seasons. 2022 was 5 games and 2023 was 9 games.
Yeah, he produces. He's a stud when he's on the field. Just that's the question is he going to be on the field? So for me,
field, man.
That's the difference between him and Khalil Mack. It's not the talent. It's not the production. It's availability. And you know what? I'll take a Buckeye on this team. I don't think we have one other than Taylor Decker. So, I have no problems. The rivalry's dead for me. So that's not even my issue. It's just how available would Joey Bosa be?
Yeah. Yep.
You going to give me a guy who plays 16, 17 games or a guy who's going to play 14 the last 2 seasons? I don't know. It's Khalil Mack for me. No brainer.
Yeah, man. I agree, man. Get him here.
So, guys, We've talked about it. We didn't really go in depth on Joey Bosa. We like him. His production's there. When he's healthy, that's just the huge question mark. I think we already have some question marks from that defensive end spot right now with Marcus Davenport. That's kind of the same boat. So if it's up to me and Will, we're going with Khalil Mack. Let's get him to town. Let's see what happens. There's still some moves out there to be made, guys. Let's not hit the panic button. Let's not be throwing the best GM in football who just drafted a masterful draft class and was voted best draft class of 2023. And you guys are throwing shade at the GM who drafted them. I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me. Have a little patience. Our team's literally knocking on the door of a Super Bowl. Leave some comments down below. Hit that like button, guys. If you're a Detroit Lions fan, stick around. It's 313 day. Help Detroit Den 313 out. Hit that subscribe button. Greatly appreciated. We'll be back later with some more content.
Peace.